BenDeLaCreme and Jinkx Monsoon, superstar drag queens who began their careers in Seattle and gained fame and followers on RuPaul's Drag Race, have joined forces to create the holiday extravaganza, All I Want for Christmas is Attention. We caught up with this dynamic duo as they prepared for their highly anticipated worldwide tour. Well, Jinkx Monsoon and BenDeLaCreme, it is so wonderful to see you. Thank you for giving us your time.
Thank you for having us.
In the midst of all of this huge rehearsal for your big show.
Oh yeah, nothing's more fun than daytime drag.
Well, you're pulling it off beautifully.
Thank you.
So All I Want for Christmas is Attention, which is a great title.
Thank you.
Terrific title. Who came up with that, by the way?
That was a group effort.
Yeah, and it was really hard to top last year's, which was To Jesus, Thanks for Everything, Jinkx and Dela.
Well, exactly. So this is your second holiday show. The first one, like you said, To Jesus, Thanks for Everything. 2018 debut, rave reviews, huge crowds. So were you surprised by the response to that?
The response was just incredible.
Yeah.
And it could have really gone either way. So we were delighted, which meant that this year we could expand it even more.
Right. So you obviously enjoy sharing a stage together. That said, collaborating, it can be tricky. You cannot always get it just your own way. So how do you write, and how do you decide, or who decides what gets into the show?
Neither of us sign off on anything that we're not both fully comfortable with. Mm-hmm. We get into a groove where we start predicting what the other one wants to say, and we start writing in each other's voices, which I think is only a tool to us because we've known each other for so long. I wouldn't trust my voice in anyone else's hands.
Yeah, I mean, we've worked together for over a decade, so we really understand each other's humor, each other's thought processes, and each other's characters. So she really knows how to write for me.
Well, that's so great to have that kind of, that closeness like that. Creative closeness is great.
It usually comes down to Dela's like, oh, I like this scene, but Dela needs to be dumber. And then
that's usually what it is. Dela needs to be dumber, Jinkx needs to be drunker.
Yeah.
You know each other well. So what can your adoring fans look forward to in All I Want for Christmas is Attention?
Well, I think it's got all the stuff that we figured out how to establish last year, which we're very proud of.
You have backup dancers?
It's December, the splendor of the season known as Christmas time. There's carols and cocoa, blinking bulbs and boughs of pine. We'll sing some, bells ring some, as we sleigh ride through the snow. Trim the tree and follow me, it's that kind of holiday show.
Yeah, the original idea was we would pick some of our best numbers, our best holiday-themed numbers, and structure the show around that. And then in between, we just kind of chat and loosely have conversations on stage. And I think our first day of writing, we realized, no, it's going to be a fully scripted show with a full character arc
with
and development.
Numbers, multiple costume changes, and a slew of dancers.
Yeah.
No matter where you come from, no matter who you are, there's something about this holiday that's sure to leave a scar.
Now, how do you make sure that the attention is evenly distributed, meaning no one gets more than the other?
I wrestle the attention out of Jinkx's cold, dead hands.
I don't think we even have to work at it. It's like neither one of us are shrinking violets, I think you just put us both on stage and it's kind of a tug of war, but because the friendship is there and because of the trust and the respect for each other as artists, we naturally know when to let the other one take their moment. Scripting it helps.
Yes.
Because I think I can be, out of the two of us, I'm a little bit more of a loose cannon on stage. I can't let an audience...
You agree with that?
I mean, only when pressured.
I'm the kind of performer, I could be in the middle of a monologue and someone in the audience would sneeze and I'd stop what I'm doing to say, bless you.
So improvisation.
And then a 20-minute monologue.
About sneezing, yeah.
Free association, and then blankly staring at me, trying to get me to give her a cue line. It happens, but it's always very entertaining when it does.
What do you see as each other's greatest strength? What do you see as Jinkx's?
Well, Jinkx is a natural performer. She's got an incredible set of pipes, which is one of the things she's very well known for. But also such a strong comedic sense and such a strong voice, I'd say, culturally. I think one thing we have in common is that we both social commentary is really important to us.
Yeah, I've always said that Dela is one of the most intellectual drag performers I know. She's able to take a song parody and not only make it hilarious, but shove a whole lot of nuance in there. She can deliver a performance of Single Ladies parodied to talk about the social constructs of marriage and female oppression. And it's entertaining, but in the end, you're like, wow, I learned a lot about how women are mistreated. You know?
Stay tuned for the next tour of my new solo show, Ready to Be Committed, coming to Seattle this spring or early summer.
Jinkx Monsoon.
Now, you both competed on RuPaul's Drag Race and did extraordinarily well. Jinkx, you won the 5th season.
You did?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. And Dela won Miss Congeniality. Was it season 6?
Yes.
So what did you learn about yourselves as a performer and as a human being from the RuPaul Drag Race experience?
I think what I love most about Drag Race is that it's shown that we are the performers that we are with or without drag. Mm-hmm. You know, we're comedians, we're musicians and models and fashion icons and seamstresses, you know.
Yes. Top models here, yeah.
And we've chosen drag as our way to do those things. So when you compete against other people whose strengths are areas that aren't your strengths, it makes you zero in that much more on your specific field and medium and make that much stronger so that a cabaret performer can stand up against a supermodel and we can compete equally even though we have different strengths.
Different strengths, right.
Cabaret performer, supermodel.
Well, yeah.
Did you notice how I gestured this way? Do I have a hypothetical drag queen?
What about you?
You know, season 6 was very challenging for me. I just had not been in competition with that level of drag artistry. You know, I went from...
That's the top.
Yeah, exactly. But I'd say that what I really benefited most from was all the time after season 6, because there's really nothing that makes you better at anything than doing it every day. Yes. So going on tour suddenly after season 6 and being in a different city every night, having to get a different kind of audience to respond, I think that made me a really solid performer, so that now I'm at the point where I don't have to second guess myself quite as much.
There's nothing like experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It really isn't. But you're internationally renowned drag queens, and you came up in Seattle. You, in a lot of ways, you defined the drag scene here in Seattle. Is there, or in the area, is there something, do you think, about the Pacific Northwest that nurtures superstar talent such as yourself?
I think Seattle has such an emphasis on the performance and the individual character and the unique idiosyncrasies that make Seattle drag queens so special in the grand scope of things. And a lot of that I learned from BenDeLaCreme. Like, meeting BenDeLaCreme was a huge turning point in my life as an artist, for the better.
That's lovely.
Yeah, you know, I think that Seattle has a very specific flavor that comes from the intersectionality of the art forms here. You know, I was the MC down at the Can when I first moved here, and I was meeting such a diverse range of vaudevillian kind of variety art form. And so whether I'm working on a production that involves all those other types of performers or just a 2-person production, it's always, what's most exciting to me is to bring all of those flavors into it.
All informing. Yeah. Right. Right, finally, for the hundreds of thousands of people who will see All I Want for Christmas Is Attention, what do you hope their takeaway will be?
Well, I hope they have a great time. I hope they laugh really hard and sort of escape the madness of the world and the madness of the holidays for a couple hours.
Come on, everybody, go with me. 'Cause a virgin had a baby that you'll all want to see.
Yeah, I hope our audience members leave with a strong sense of community, because I think it's a community building experience to all come together and watch a drag show together. But I also hope they leave with a better sense of community for the LGBTQ plus community. And how do we just share this world, this time of year, and the spirit of this season with each other in a more open and loving way?
That's wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you both so much for talking with us, and you're delightful. So, All I Want for Christmas is Attention, starring the fabulous BenDeLaCreme and Jinkx Monsoon, swoops into the Neptune Theatre December 21st through the 27th. Tickets are going fast, but a few are still available at stgpresents.org. Thank you, darlings.
Thank you so much.
Martinis, vodka or gin?
Vodka.
Vodka, yeah.
That was quick.